And we're live. Facebook, YouTube. Most importantly, Periscope and Twitter.
Hey, yeah, Twitter, where is it, man?
That's where we get the
real
people from.
Yes.
Twitter, where is it?
At some point, we got to talk about Black Twitter. What was it, like a couple days after the election?
Mm-hmm.
But like when we knew Joe Biden was winning. Woo, boy.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Black Twitter was amazing.
That's live. Golly. I have never. You ever just like get on your like Twitter feed and just like everything that's on your timeline is funny? Like everything was funny. That was hilarious. I kind of want there to be like a like some type of like what's the word I'm looking for? A biography of some sort, like Black Twitter, like so I can go back and look at it. Like,
I don't know what that man just said. It just sounded.
I think
that just sounded robotic.
oh, my Wi-Fi.
Y'all.
You like in and out.
Yeah, it was in and out for a second.
All right,
Sheedy.
never mind.
All right, cool. So I just want to make sure I can share with us on Facebook and all the other platforms we got. However, it's been a while, almost been 10 days actually, and we got some stuff that we need to talk about. So officially, class is in session. Let's go ahead and begin with this. I need everyone to come off mute and say 100,000.
100,000.
100,000. Then now I need you to come off mute and say 1,000.
1,000.
Perfect. Now I just you be mute. Just show me 10 with your hands. Everybody's not a receiver. I got it. All right, but hands back down. So I like to give numbers and give purpose to the numbers. There have been legitimately, so I'm going to talk about coronavirus now. There have been 10 straight days where we've had at least an extra new 1,000 cases in the United States. That number's bubbled above 1,700 as of yesterday. I mentioned 100,000 because there are 100,000 beds being occupied because of COVID-19 on a daily basis. And those are taking up your ERs and everything like that. The numbers aren't going anywhere because of poor leadership, as we already know. We also know about the vaccine that is also now here and present all of a sudden after the elections. I just really want to speak about everyone's health because it doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, whatever it may be. Coronavirus is not gone. Even though we want Trump out of office and all these other things to occur, we still need to tread lightly with coronavirus because that is really killing us. And so as we come up on Thanksgiving and Christmas, I beg you from the family of Let's Be Real to be cautious as you do whatever it is that you are doing this Thanksgiving, whether that's like grabbing and going at mom's house, whatever, or staying at home. This thing is not over. And the thing that makes it and hurts even more is coming from a person that is an educator. They're going to pawn the children first. The whole point of allowing us to go back into schools is to see how deadly the virus will really be. So please, please, please wear your mask, protect yourself, but also pray for those that are in education, pray for those children as well, so that things like this do not occur. I've not been affected by COVID-19, but I definitely have had some coworkers that have. I don't know if you guys want to speak about COVID-19 before we talk about some other issues that are surrounding the state of Memphis and our country.
I guess for me, just I like you said, I just hope everybody continues to be safe. I'm seeing videos and stuff of people smoking hookah and going out to clubs and X, Y, and Z. Be safe, people. Be safe. If you want to do some form of gathering, do a small one, do it at the house and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Wear your mask, as I like to say. Wear your mask. Don't do anything stupid. If anything, stay at home, man. Nothing. Your life isn't worth going to the club or even meeting in a very enclosed space with family members who are doing God knows what. So y'all can FaceTime, y'all can call. This is 2020. We have technology, so use it.
You're on mute, Shark.
Not only
Lightsaber said.
Oh, go ahead, Shark.
I was like Lightsaber said, what we doing right now? Recording through video. So, man, just stay safe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody stay safe. I think I'll speak for like the person, you know what I'm saying, that's, you know, that is able to go out, you know what I'm saying, that do want to have a good time, because at the end of the day, I definitely respect y'all perspective, but from my perspective, single black guy, you know what I'm saying, chilling, you know, getting tired of just sitting in the house, you know, so I'm gonna speak on that perspective, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, it is possible for us to go out and be safe, you know what I'm saying, wear a mask, do your diligence, you know what I'm saying, if you're, you know, if your temperature right, you can, I feel like you can go out, you are putting yourself more at a risk, but I feel like you can have fun safely. I think that's the times that we're in now, especially if you are looking to quote unquote have a good time and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, like I definitely respect y'all's opinions, you know, staying at home, but at the same time, we've been staying at home for months, you know what I'm saying, and I know that the numbers are rising, but at the same time, the death rate is still incredibly low for COVID. Like it's pretty much as essential as catching the flu, especially in these times. So again, like stay safe, of course, wash your hands, wear sanitizer, but when you go out, you know, stay safe when you do that.
There you go. I think, yeah, it's the stay safe part. I feel like it's people that's going outside and that's doing the complete opposite of that. That's what, like, I mean, I have no, if people want to go out, hey, do that. Because I mean, I've been out a couple of times, but it's the staying safe part for me. I feel like people aren't thinking that.
Yeah, Trevor, I know you were about to say something, and I'm gonna continue on. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, I was just keeping it simple. Wear your mask, wash your hands, disinfect everything you come in contact with. Stay safe. Just that simple.
Yeah. And so now I want to just kind of turn our attention to the great state of Memphis. But before I go there, I should say, outside of Memphis, Daniel Cameron, if you know who he is, go do some research about him. He is the current attorney general that oversaw Breonna Taylor's case. And we all know how that case went. He has now joined the Trump's election fraud case. And so once a coon, always a coon, if you ask me. But just wanted to give you some news to use. As well as Tory Harris. Anyone heard of Tory Harris by chance?
No.
Local Memphis. Okay.
Nah.
Tory Harris is the first openly LGBTQ member of Tennessee to become part of the House of Representatives. So shout out to him. And he's also the youngest as well to do that. So I do want to send, congratulations and their roses to those people for changing the game as is. Now, for the part of the segment that it is, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about travel. And when we're talking about traveling, you have to travel with certain people. I recently traveled with my great brother there, Skyler, and we had a great time. But what pains me, and I want everyone to think about what really grinds your gears when it comes to traveling with folks, what I really, really hate, is when you start to pack, or even like when you're gone, and everyone's staying in like the same room. Now, I'm part of a fraternity. Some of us are part of a fraternity. Where back in undergrad days, we probably had to all be like one room because nobody had enough money, right? But we've grown now. And so, like, I don't want to, if I'm going anywhere on a trip, I either need my own room, or I stay with someone I consider my brother or my wife. And if that's not an option, then I'm not going. But what are some things that, like, you cannot tolerate on a trip? Let's go with Skyler, Savage, Sharky.
Here to go.
Took and Trevor. Go ahead.
Something I cannot stand. I'm just one of those people that when I go out of town, I want to eat or go somewhere that I typically can't do or can't go in Memphis. And so for those people that want to like hit up a McDonald's real quick, or like, I'm just gonna chill at the house all day. Like, no, like we got to get out. Like that's the whole purpose of leaving. That's the whole purpose of like going on vacation. The purpose is to get out. That's just me. Let's not go to McDonald's. Let's not go to Burger King. Let's not go to like no Red Lobster. Like these different cities that we travel to, I'm sure have something that Memphis does not have, and 9 times out of 10, it's a lot of stuff that Memphis does not have. So let's broaden our horizons a little bit. Is what I want.
Definitely co-sign that. For me, I'm gonna speak particularly on the driving road trips. Everybody in the car has a role. You got the driver, you got your passenger seat rider, and then you get people in the back seat, so on and so forth. My biggest pet peeve is one, when the passenger seat person is asleep with the driver. Like, you have to be awake if you are in the passenger seat. There is no excuse for you to be asleep. No, if you are asleep, get your ass in the back seat. Period.
Easy.
The second one to go along with that is when the person who is controlling the aux cord is playing trash music. You cannot play trash music on a road trip. Matter of fact, Skylar knows this because we did several road trips. I had my playlist prepared beforehand with songs that he wants to hear, that somebody else wants to hear, that I want to hear, and then we rotate it in a circle like rotisserie chicken. So everybody on the road trip has to have a role, and you should be exquisite at that role, especially if the road trip is more than 3 hours.
Yes.
That's all that I'll say.
Definitely. Thank you. Go ahead, Shark.
So, agree wholeheartedly, especially with Scout's point. That's definitely. Every time I go out of town, I'm getting something that I cannot eat in Memphis. What Savage said, exactly right. Unless it's your girlfriend or wife. Do you make your wife? Yeah. I mean,
they be quick to go to sleep.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
In that case, you can't stop them. So it's an exception to that one. Facts. So it was an exception on that one, but that's it. Everybody else, friends, and the one y'all, keep y'all put away. The third one, that's having an agenda when you go out of town, man. Like, real talk. I'm getting tired of going out of town and we just, people like to turn up, smoking, drinking, and that's all you're doing. Like, no, I want to actually I'm adventurous. I like to do stuff.
Let's go out and do something.
Let's do something. That's the one I have. Just like have an agenda to do something. Don't just go out and just do the same thing you could do in Memphis.
Good one, Charlie.
Eat different places. Turn up. I want to do something I can't do here.
That's a good one. So of course I just made a probably 20+ hour trip across the nation. So I got a little experience in, traveling with somebody there. But Savage, of course, you hit it right on the head when you said the aux cord. Like the aux cord, you gotta let it, be known that we about to get a good trip. Now, for me, honestly, I'm not somebody that's gonna listen to trap music 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? I got a diverse range of music, and I let people know that ahead of time. So with that being said, if I'm on an aux, it's best that, if you're not rocking what I'm rocking with, because I'm gonna play like a lot of things. If you're not rocking with it, bring your headphones. You know what I'm saying? It's a courteous thing. That's kind of what I'm on right now. Number 2, this wasn't an issue for sure. Shout out to my brother Yo, who's right here. Make sure y'all know the gas, how much each person is paying for gas if you're at an extended, road trip, whatever. So, because that can be an issue for sure. And let me see. Number 3, personal pet peeve of mine. I hate it when people fart in a car on purpose.
Gee, you getting out the car.
I hate it. It's always been a pet peeve of mine. I can say, you never done. No, I really don't. And if I do, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to let it out. And I'm going to immediately let down the window. Like, you farting and not letting down the window, bro. That's like the most disrespectful thing you could do, especially if you're not the driver. I mean, you'd have made your car at home, bro. And no, this ain't it. So that I guess that'll be mine for right now. Of course, definitely got to get out a little bit more. Like, I definitely like chilling, but if it's a place I ain't never been to, like, let's go experience.
Yeah. Well, for me, all of you guys have made like wonderful points on what to do and what not to do when you're vacationing or whatever. So I'll just name something different, and I'll just be real. Know your limits when you're consuming alcoholic beverages or things of that nature, because one of the last things I want to do that can possibly ruin the night Because if I have to babysit someone that's done drank too much and either they done vomited or they done passed out, and now you got 4 or 5 people trying to carry you to a bed or things of that nature. So, yeah, please know your limit. Please know your limit, because I'm not trying to babysit when I'm out on this trip. I'm trying to have fun. All of us are trying to have fun. But in moderation. Moderation.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shark. Okay.
And one random one, because I experienced this with 3 of the other guys on this podcast, and 2, Skylar and Savage. Try to stay away from truck drivers as much as possible.
Oh my God.
Near-death experiences, truck drivers. Twice on the same trip.
Same trip.
Second time got a ticket.
Wow.
I remember that too.
Man,
Yeah.
good times, yo. Good times.
Old time.
Nah,
Give me a ticket.
not good.
Not good time.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good
Not
time.
good. Not good. Yeah, you want to know a thing about this, bro? Like that was a trip back in our college days for the people that don't know, and like we had separate cars. So I'm in the back, right, and I'm seeing Lito roll. So me and whoever was in my car, I think it was UD and somebody else. We like, bro, I hope they don't get pulled in. I hope you don't get pulled over. Next thing I see, we roll back. Them dudes get pulled over.
God, I'm so mad.
You talk about, I ain't gonna lie, but we were dying laughing. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah,
One more thing.
Go ahead,
Backseat drivers. Backseat drivers, those that sit in the backseat complaining about how the person in the front is driving. I'm like,
shut up.
You can get out. You can get out. You can walk.
Thank you.
Why you going, like, is you dead? Did you die?
Do not criticize my driver.
Exactly.
If you ain't bold enough to get in the driver's seat, stay in the back and shut up.
Exactly.
Shut up. Man, it need to be a shut up sign in the back or something like that.
Yep. Good question, Sheedy.
Yeah.
You're on mute.
Sorry. And so, yeah, thank you. Well, first, let's talk about COVID. You know, COVID is here, present. You're right, too. It's not killing everybody, but we still want to make sure we stay safe. And when it comes time to stay safe, some tips from LBR. No backseat driving. Know your limits. Be cautious of truck drivers. Money cannot be funny. Everybody needs to come to the table.
Money cannot be fun. I like that. I like that.
Bring your headphones if you don't like the playlist. We'll make it diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Agenda must be done already in advance, and we have to eat out somewhere where we cannot get in Memphis. These are some of the rules live by, but let's be real. Oh, two, got one more. My fault.
Saying that you didn't put farting in a car as a rule, I take it that you're the one that be farting in a car.
No, it just wasn't on the agenda. And so I just knew I wouldn't have to fart. And so use the restroom wisely. How about that one?
There you go.
There we go.
If you're not shopping at McDonald's or anything like that, you shouldn't have to worry about it.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope. So from us, from Let's Be Real, you guys are getting ready to maybe travel on the roads. Just remember those rules because class is now dismissed.
That's a good one. All right.
Yeah.
Somebody back here. Got water. All right. Yep. Let's Be Real 113, aka Information Has Changed episode.
Again?
I can't wait for those three next to roll out.
All right, man. Before we get started, a couple notes to take to make. I guess I get Scout to speak a little bit on it if you want to. Memphis Madness with this week virtually. A little bit, Scout.
I was like, wait, what am I supposed to be talking about? Yeah, so Memphis Madness was this past Thursday at 7. It was much different. When I logged in to look at it on YouTube, I was like, dang, it's been a year already since Memphis Madness from last year. And of course, Memphis Madness virtually is much different from Memphis Madness in person live at the FedEx Forum. But of course, it was ran smoothly for the most part. You got to see the showcase from the women's basketball team, who I think looks really, really good. Memphis heavy too, which I kind of liked. But you got to see a showcase from the Memphis girls basketball team, also the Memphis men's basketball team as well too. So of course you had the skills challenge, you had the 3-point challenge, which I believe Lester Keonis did win, and then you had the dunk competition as well, which I believe Dame. I think Ahmad ran one. I think
Ahmad ran one.
I can't remember. I feel like it was so long ago. So very, very quickly, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but anything that y'all kind of took away from it for those that did watch. I will say this though, I think like as far as like just looking at some of the players, because you could just tell like the build of a freshman to the build of a sophomore, and Lester looks bigger, Boogie looks bigger. A-Lo got the grown man beard and stuff. So the team looks bigger. In my opinion, the team is much more deep than they were last year. Of course, they added Ahmad Rand. Of course, they added Landers Nolly. I did not realize that Musa Cisse has not been cleared by the NCAA. So I am keep the energy over there. Keep the energy over there too. He has not been cleared by the NCAA. Penny Hardaway says that he does not feel as if the NCAA will rule against him being ruled eligible, but of course he has not been ruled eligible yet. So that's the thing. I think the Memphis team looks they look deep, they look bigger, they look smarter. Lester looks like a really much more improved 3-point shooter. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for the season to start. I think here in the next 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, pretty much I would echo the same thing. I'm liking how this team is looking. This team's looking like you could definitely go 8, 9, possibly 10 deep. Another guy, of course, you guys forgot to mention that came over was DeAndre Williams, the transfer from Evansville, who looked pretty decent. Still not a fan of his jump shot, his form, because it's slow, but that's outside the fact. But everybody looks bigger, of course, like you said, as far as their off-season workouts from their freshman sophomore year. I'm excited. Again, roll the ball out. Let's get it on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, anybody else say anything before?
Nah, because I'm gonna keep my energy over here.
Yes, please do.
I'll wait.
Thank you. Thank you.
We don't need nothing from not cool.
Sheedy's trying to talk, I think.
Oh.
Nah, okay. Next up, real quick. Not so much discussion, just really announcing. Memphis football won't be talking about this week because County got canceled for COVID, not dealing with us, but dealing with Navy. And a bunch of SEC football games got canceled. So college football is very dull today.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, I think a couple other, more than just those games got canceled. But
there's a couple of Pac-12 games got canceled.
Yeah. But SEC took the biggest, about 4 games, including Alabama. Although it's going to be a good game. No CBS game today. Tennessee was good thing. They kind of got canceled. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. They've been terrible all season. So, after the first 2 games. Okay.
But, Trevor, guess what it's time for with you? NBA.
Oh, here we go. So, that's 3 days ago. Hilarious. Give me a quick second. Let me see if I can find this exact time for this.
In the meantime, bro, I'm just finna roll some dice for you, bro. They all hitting these times.
NBA is back.
Yes, NBA is back, and all of the off-season stuff and free agency and everything has started. But this past, like I said, on the 11th, it was around just a little past 11. Of course, as we all do, we have our discussions and group me and things of that nature. And we were talking about, the Houston Rockets, basically. And one thing led to another, and things of that nature. Oh, it was originally about possibly bringing Russell Westbrook to the Grizzlies, which I thought was idiotic. But I I came out and said, and this was shortly after 11 a.m. on that day, that him and Harden are going to ask out of Houston, basically. And lo and behold, about 7, 8 hours later at 6 p.m., around a little shortly after 6, we get the tweet from Shams, and it was later confirmed that Russell Westbrook has asked to be traded and be out of Houston. Not a whole lot of teams. It was a lot of rumored teams, but the only teams that I think that are really serious about possibly acquiring him are the New York Knicks, which is why I'm wearing this hat, the Charlotte Hornets, and maybe the Orlando Magic. So I'll start with Savage, Sharky, Toop, Scholar, and then Sheedy when he gets back on. Because I do want to go last on this because it's probably about that time to recognize that it's probably over for Russell Westbrook. So just want to get you guys' thoughts on Russ asking out of Houston and where do you possibly see him going?
Well, that's a big echo I get in the background. I'm not surprised that he's asked for a trade. At some point, we got to look at James Harden and figure out what's going on with James Harden. Because that's, Melo, that's who else? Chris Paul, now Russell Westbrook. I think they need to come to the realization that Harden cannot have an additional all-star with him. He needs just role players so that he can just be him. As far as Westbrook, him coming out and not coming out, but like the way that he plays is not conducive to winning. And so I don't think he really cares about winning. I mean, he wants to win, yeah, but like truly the efficiency of winning, he does not know how to win efficiently. Even in his triple-double year, his first year that he got triple-double, the Thunder were like a 7 or an 8 seed. They weren't winning games like that. It was amazing at the time. 6 seed, okay, well, whatever seed they weren't the top 4 seed,
Yeah.
So, but and that's why I think that the Knicks are best for him because they don't win. And so not only will the Knicks have a superstar in New York, Westbrook will have free reign to do whatever he wants to do. The New York media will love him because they have a star in New York. They actually might make the playoffs because the East is not that good, and everybody will be happy. So Westbrook, more power to you. He better not go to the Clippers because I will laugh. That's all I would say. I'm done.
Just to piggyback on your point, James Harden, you can go back to Dwight Howard even.
Yes.
So Dwight, Chris Paul, Melo. Now Russ, it's a James Harden problem, and I've said it before. He's not number one on the championship team. So what Houston needs to do is trade him as well, in my opinion. Just start over because you say he can't play with another all-star. He can't be number one. That's really what it is. And as for Westbrook, I understand we're asking for a trade. I don't really care, honestly. I mean, it's like trade both of them. I don't care where they go. They're not championship caliber players as number one options on any team. So they have to go somewhere. Harden had to be number 2. Westbrook, his game, he had to change the way he plays in some way to win a championship. That's what I'm saying. But a fit for him, like Savage said, it's probably the lower tier team where he can just do what he wants.
When this news first came out, I thought nothing but the interview. I think it was Kobe Bryant, T-Mac, and I believe Rachel Nichols. I believe she interviewed them. If you go back and look at the interview, Kobe Bryant said exactly what Savage said. That brand of basketball that's being played in Houston is not conducive to win. And when he said that, and it now fast forward, he was right. It's not conducive for winning. Russell Westbrook, his problem, in my opinion, I think he's a really good player, but he's been in the league way too long to not have a consistent jumper. That's an issue for me. And so regardless if he goes to the Knicks or the Hornets or whatever the case may be, he has to develop a consistent jumper where somebody will at least, whoever's guarding him, say, I respect him taking that jumper. Let me come up and at least contest it. But players in the league aren't doing that. And so until he does that, he just will continue to be Russell Westbrook of the old and the Russell Westbrook of now. So we'll see. I mean, I guess the Knicks is fine, but again, the league looks at him as just like, he's not as good as people think that he is, because if he were, it's not too many people that's like calling the Houston Rockets for Russell Westbrook right now, unless you're potentially the Clippers, which I think that's hilarious. But again, I think also to what y'all said too, you also got to look at James Harden, because I mean, at some point, for you to be this really good basketball player, which he is, you got to be able to do more than just score the basketball. So for me, as a Lakers fan, I really don't care what the Houston Rockets do or does. I don't care. It's funny to me for all those people that said the Houston Rockets are going to beat the Lakers in the playoffs. That was we'll see. So the Knicks. I'll say the Knicks. There you go.
Okay.
Is it on me?
Yeah.
Well, I already got my rant out about the Houston Rockets about a month maybe ago. You guys should go check out that episode. We have to put it somewhere. So y'all know how I've been feeling about them for the last few years. I feel like with their style of play, they've tried to do too much too soon. And you got the worst players to help you do that. And what I mean by that is, let's take James Harden, for example, somebody who freezes in the biggest moments for whatever reason. We can go back to the NBA Finals when he was with KD and Russ. And we can go into, you know what I'm saying, when he gets tired, I guess, in the postseason, you know what I'm saying, he's not able to do his thing. Let's just face it, like really jump shooting teams don't win championships because the defenses get a lot better and they're going to key up on you offensively or defensively. So when you're a team designed around the jump shot like the Houston Rockets were, it was only a matter of time before you explode. And I'm happy they detonated themselves. Like when PJ Tucker is the center, that's an issue, man. So let's start off with Russ, man. Russ, we know who Russell is. At this point of his career, he's like Allen Iverson. We know what we got. We know what he's going to do, and we know he's going to play full speed at all times. For fans like myself, who's been loving it since he's been drafted, it's been awesome. But I've also been critical of that style of basketball. Never wins, especially y'all have played the game of basketball. When you have that one guy who's not going to pass it, who's going to take every shot, who look for himself, that's Russell Westbrook. In some cases, that works for him. He got him an MVP. He got him a triple-double, but that's not going to win. The New York Knicks will be perfect for him, especially if the Houston Rockets are going to try to, rebuild. I know you hate that word, Sheedy, but that's what the Rockets going to have to do, especially with James Harden about to be out the door too. So you do have to see what you can get for Russ, and don't be greedy with it. You got to take what you can get. But for James Harden, I think Max Kellerman said it yesterday right on the head. You got to get what you can get for James Harden because that's your best player. And if you're going to rebuild, you have to send them to somewhere that you're going to get pieces back. Maybe even swap James Harden for Ben Simmons. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that can definitely work for both teams. So I think you got to keep an eye on that. But Russ, we know what we're getting with him. And you know what I'm saying? Watch out for Charlotte too. I think Charlotte will be a good destination for Russ as well.
Yeah. Okay. Sheedy?
Okay, cool. Yeah. I didn't know if you talked, but my fault. This is your headline, Trevor. I'll just do it real quick. First of all, Russell Westbrook to the Clippers. I mean, did Kawhi like Paul George? And Paul George don't even say nothing. And so you think him and Kawhi going to work? No, not at all. They probably go from a second seed to a seventh. And so I also heard some rumors about, hear me out, going to the Pistons for Russell Westbrook. Trading Blake Griffin. Like almost like a straight up trade for that.
So one bad contract for another. Okay.
For another. Different positions.
Yeah. Both bums, if you ask me. Neither one will get you a championship. But like no one's beating down the door to get Blake Griffin or Russell Westbrook. So that's my point there.
When was the last time Blake played?
Right.
In the Los Angeles Clippers jersey, I believe.
He actually had a productive season with Detroit.
I'm sorry. He didn't have a season.
Not last season.
I think it was the.
Did you watch
the playoffs when they got swept by Milwaukee?
And even then, he was hurt because he got that long leg sticky phone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
At least Russ on the court.
Blake Griffin is officially a bomb, y'all.
He is. I also saw another thing about Russell going to Orlando. I thought was like, what? How does that happen? But again, Orlando is just as good as the Knicks, if you ask me, because neither one of them are going to be championship teams with Russell Westbrook. Any team with Russell Westbrook is not a championship team. They made it to the finals because of KD, not because of Russell Westbrook. When they did do it that year, I don't believe it was Russell Westbrook for that reason. And then I also seen, the Harden to Philly, to your point too, for Ben Simmons. So what? So you take James Harden from the West to the East, and you give him one of the best centers in the league, probably top 2 or top 3, and they make it out They may make it out these conference finals, maybe. But again, I don't see this being a championship. No, actually, I take that back. Doc Rivers is the coach. It won't even work. So with that said, both of those players, to everyone's point, they're not championship players to me. Both games have to change in order to do that. Carmelo Anthony is the prime example of someone who was an all-star, superstar at one point, one of the better players in the league that changed his game to help. He's the best example I can give. Another example is Vince Carter. Vince Carter used to dunk on everybody. But what happened to him, to Skylar's point, he developed a jump shot that could be hit at any and all times. Russell Westbrook will never develop a jump shot until his teeth fall out. And so I just blow it up. Houston, we definitely have a problem.
I think can we?
No, go ahead, too. Go ahead.
Can we talk about one more thing? It's been a lot in the headlines with Harden going to the Nets. How y'all feel about that? How joining KD again? Because as a third option, I think it's overkill.
That's not gonna work.
It's one ball.
Yes, sir. There's not enough air in the basketball to handle.
I mean, it was only one basketball then, and they did go to an NBA Finals. Just want to throw that out, and they had Russell instead of Kyrie. Like
they were young.
I gotta
before
they
MVP.
were young.
Before MVP.
Right, Harden was 6 man. Nah.
Yeah.
Hey, I like him coming off the bench.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, that was a good one though.
That was a good one.
Man.
Just to wrap this whole thing up, I do agree that at this point, Russ has been in the league 10 plus years. So what you're seeing at this point is what you're going to get from him. I really don't see him adjusting at this point. His biggest strength is his biggest weakness. Like, he plays with a chip on his shoulder and has to go all out 100% every single game, every single possession, much to not only his own detriment, but the detriment of the teams that he's on. So I think New York will be perfect for him because they need a superstar. They need someone to put their butts in seats, and he thrives best when it's just him. When he can just go and just be himself and just do basically what he was doing the MVP season once KD left. But one thing I do want to bring to the table in regards to Houston is, of course, did you guys hear about everything else that came out of Houston after Russ had requested the trade, as far as how players were treated, PJ Tucker not being happy with his contract situation, Austin Rivers and James Harden getting into it, and I think it was something with Trevor Ariza as well when he was in Houston as well. So of course, like you guys said, you may have to look at James Harden, but you also got to look at Daryl Morey, even though he's not there anymore. But this right here for Russ, this is the equivalent of when Iverson was traded from Denver to Detroit, and at this point, it's nothing but downhill from here for him. He'll get to the Knicks. They'll probably win 35, maybe 40 games. They'll get the playoffs, maybe get 6, 7, or 8 seed. And of course, the NBA is all about drama and things of that nature. They'll match up with the Nets in the first round, and so in the end, I mean, it's sad that he hasn't been able to adjust his game. And I'll throw another person out there who plays similar to him, who actually did a really great job of adjusting his game, and that's Derrick Rose, a guy who had reckless abandon as far as getting to the rack. Of course, he had all his injuries, which kind of slowed him down, which made him adjust his game. Now he has a reliable jump shot. He still gets to the rack, got floaters and things of that nature. And he actually balled out for the Pistons. So I'm interested to see if some contender is actually going to try and go after Derrick Rose. In the end, Houston, you got to blow it up. Try to get Ben Simmons and just hope for the best at this point. And with this Clippers, before Skyler goes, with this Clippers trade, which I kind of laughed at, they was throwing a first-round pick. I was like, what first-round pick? Because that pick is probably going to Oklahoma City anyway. So, like, you just throwing a pick that you don't have in the trade. But that's it. That's all I got.
My last quick point. I feel sorry for Stephen Silas, who's the son of his dad, Coach Silas. I just feel bad for him because he is a black coach and he just got there. So to kind of take on their job, and then now you have this big mess that you have to deal with in Houston. Just kind of feel bad for him in that situation.
Yeah,
I don't, because if once he shine, he's gonna look even better.
Yeah, good luck doing that in the West and in Houston.
Have they hired a GM yet?
Huh?
I don't even think they hired a GM at this point.
No, they haven't hired a GM yet.
Good luck.
Right.
Good luck, Houston.
Houston got a problem. All right, it's on me.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to continue the problems going because now we have Wednesday's NBA draft. There are a lot of teams that still don't know what kind of player, what kind of draft this will be. There'll be a talk that this may be just a role player draft. There aren't any stars or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely want everybody to give their opinions on that. But also, who do y'all think the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have the number 1 pick, will take? And I will start off with saying who I've been saying for the last year and a half, and that's LaMelo Ball. When you talk about everything that LaMelo can do for your team, even though they have a point guard with D'Lo, I think the style of play and the height and the presence that LaMelo Ball will bring will help that team, especially when you're on a fast break transition. He's one of the players that can get out quickly, get the ball out to the shooters like D'Lo. You know what I'm saying? Make sure Cat is good, and you know what I'm saying. I think he's already a leader, especially at being at 19. I think as a prospect, you can't overpass him, and if you do, Minnesota's gonna regret this, as they did when they took Johnny Flynn over Steph Curry and all those people. Like, I know y'all remember that. Minnesota has a track record of taking the worst player. You know what I'm saying? But they did a great job with Cat though. So I give it to them. And they were able to get Jimmy buckets for, you know what I'm saying? So it's something going on there, but they do have to get it right. And I think they get it right with LaMelo Ball. So we can go Shark, Sheedy, and then so on. And the Trevor.
All right. So I agree, LaMelo. He's the best fit for him. Anthony Edwards don't make much sense to me. James Wiseman definitely doesn't make sense. I know people are trying to say they could play the 4 and 5 with him and Cat in today's NBA. No. So yeah, LaMelo and backcourt LaMelo and D'Lo sounds pretty enticing in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I think this Minnesota Timberwolves team is like they're like a younger Nets team in regards to they're going to control who comes in and who goes. So like how Durant and Kai Week want their coach or whatever it may be. I think Minnesota's going to listen to whatever Cat and D'Lo want because you want to keep Cat happy. I don't think this day happens without a trade. And I think that this pick actually gets traded and that I don't know who they trade for. But I think you trade the number 1 pick for an all-star for sure. Someone that's going to be with your franchise for at least 2 years. It's not going to be like a 1-year rental, like a Kawhi deal. But I don't believe the Timberwolves actually draft anyone the first pick, and I think they actually trade it. And then that means I don't know who gets the first pick because whoever that team is, they're going to need a certain thing. So if it's the Warriors, I would say Wiseman is possibly a number 1 pick over LaMelo Ball, as opposed to, a different team like that. But I don't believe the Timberwolves get this pick. I think they might trade it and have something in their back pocket.
I think if they trade, they should take Obi Toppin, but they should. If they trade to like 3 or 4. Yeah, so if they were to trade, they should take Obi Toppin.
Obi is my pick for them, actually.
Really. To answer your question, as far as like if this is like a role players draft or if this is one of those drafts that has a lot of stars in it, who knows? I think a lot of times everybody's wrong when we say stuff like that. And so I just kind of prefer that people just wait it out. I agree with that statement, but I'm just at the point in my life, like I've seen so much football, I've seen so much basketball, and I've been wrong about stuff like that so many times. I just kind of rather just people just say, let's just wait, let's just have this draft, give everybody like 2 or 3 years, and then we can say such as like, oh, this is a role player draft, or this draft of the top 10, 8 of them can be like 50 stars. Mm-hmm. So I would rather that happen. As far as who should be number 1, I guess if you're the Timberwolves, you should take LaMelo Ball, but I really want LaMelo Ball in New York. So in my opinion, if I'm New York, I'm trading up to go get that pick. You got like 10,000 power forwards anyway. I'm pretty sure you got like have space to do it. If you're the Knicks, you should go get that pick because, in my opinion, LaMelo Ball belongs in New York. I don't see that tandem of D'Angelo Russell and LaMelo Ball working together because I feel like both need the ball in their hands. And I think D'Lo needs the ball in his hands more. But I just kind of feel like I feel like LaMelo Ball needs the ball in his hands a little bit more, which is why I feel like he should go to New York. And of course, I don't see James Wiseman going there. So if I want to be selfish, I would say that the Timberwolves should draft Anthony Edwards. But I saw Anthony Edwards play like 4 times, and he never jumped off the screen to me. So it's just like, we'll see. Like I said, at the end of the day, if I'm the Knicks, I go get the number 1 pick. That's me. Do whatever you got to do.
That is exactly how I feel, Skylar. I feel like I haven't heard any New York Knicks rumors, but I'm looking at like the Knicks roster, who, like Skylar said, they got a bunch of players like 6'8" with short wingspans that could play power forward. They do. I mean, Julius Randle and Taj Gibson, like, get that mess out of here. But yeah, I'm looking at their rosters, and literally what they need to do is just move players that the Knicks have power forwards and move them for like wings, which is what the Knicks need. Honestly, looking at the Knicks roster, RJ Barrett, he cool, but he's not your main guy. He's a piece. If anything, I would move RJ to get LaMelo because LaMelo's at least going to bring more publicity to the Knicks. RJ, I didn't watch an RJ game last year. I don't know if y'all did or not. I don't know how he even looks, to be honest. Just keeping it real. So as far as like Minnesota, I do not want LaMelo to go to Minnesota for like the reason that Skylar said. I don't think that he will be there long. So either him or D'Lo will not be there long term because they both need the ball. LaMelo averages like 17, 7, and 8 overseas. He needs the ball in his hand, whether it's a rebound or getting an assist. His jump shot is suspect. I mean, he is a ball boy. They not known to just knock down threes. But LaMelo's IQ is what makes him a special player. That I think that he can develop a jump shot if he takes in coaching. And from the looks of it, just reading the tea leaves, he has branched off from his dad, which is very, very good. So if he continues to take in coaching, he'll be okay. So I want him in New York, but I feel like Minnesota will take him at number 1. But I am looking forward to them making a trade down to not take LaMelo, but take like a role player to piece with D'Lo and Cat, who should be their primary offensive weapons. So LaMelo Ball is my pick.
Well, I agree with everything that Savage and Skylar just said pretty much as far as the reason you should take LaMelo Ball. But my only issue is I don't think it'll be the New York Knicks. It should be the Charlotte Hornets because they need something that's going to bring some kind of excitement back to their franchise. Yeah, they have Miles Bridges, who's nice. They have Malik Monk, who's nice. But they still need that guy that they can probably look where they can just come in, just be themselves, and just get the fans excited about. And I think LaMelo Ball is that person. So me personally, I think Minnesota takes LaMelo, but it's actually a draft they trade. They actually will draft him for Charlotte. And Minnesota probably takes Obi Toppin with that 3rd pick because I don't think the Knicks are going to do it because they're going to trade for Russell Westbrook because the Knicks are like LA. They want to try to get good real fast, but, it usually blows up in their face. So again, I don't see any big time stars in this draft. I do want to wait it out and see what everything is going to be. But just in the end, if I'm Minnesota, I trade down to 3 and I draft LaMelo Ball for Charlotte. And then I use Charlotte will take Oppen from Minnesota, basically.
So I guess to close it out, a couple things. One, Sheedy, I don't think that we should allow any Kyle Week slander, seeing that he won the great state of Ohio NBA championship. So you can keep all of that over there. Second, you guys say that it's only one basketball with Minnesota, and I definitely agree with that. But I think when you look at D'Lo and when you look at LaMelo Ball and even Cat style of play, like they're unselfish players. It's one basketball. Everybody needs the ball in their hand at the end of it. But I think when you have those 3, you put LaMelo at small forward and have a lineup like that. And then you can also stagger the minutes and stuff like that. You got to think LaMelo 6'7", 6'8". You can put him at the 2 through the 4. And stagger the minutes. And I think you got a winning success, formula going in Minnesota. But, we can go to sports on that one unless Sheedy want to say something back, which I don't think he should. All right, going on to football.
All right. That was extremely petty of you two.
No, he said Kyle Week like he no.
Like Kyle Week, yes, I did say Kyle Week, right?
Say thank
Kyle
you,
Week
Kyle
did not
Week.
And it's Tyler's turn.
You had the chance to respond. You didn't respond.
Can we get to NFL, please?
We have made it to the NFL headlines portion of the podcast. We have the NFL headlines, so it's the NFL Pick'em games. So first up, we have a battle of the rookie quarterbacks. We have Justin Herbert against Savage's boy Tua Tagovailoa. Never mind, it's just Tagovailoa. I tried it. I really tried it. So you have Herbert against Herbert against Tua. The Miami Dolphins, I believe, are at home. So I'm going to go in the order of Starkey, Sheedy, Took, Trevor, and then Savage, and then I will go last. So who do y'all have winning this first game?
Nice. Another week to watch the Chargers lose another close game. Give me Tua and the Miami Dolphins in the close one. On the last play of the game, like the last 2 weeks for the Chargers. There's another effect.
Good one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers and always losing these one possession games. But give me the Chargers.
You know what? I actually been mean to Tua, and he's actually been doing pretty decent. So I'm actually roll with him on this and give me the Dolphins.
The Chargers will find a way to lose this game. Give them the Dolphins.
To be honest, y'all, this ain't even about Tua or Herbert. It's about Miami defense, man.
Yeah.
Their defense is looking kind of scary, and I think that they will mess with Herbert a lot and let Tua just manage the game. So I get the Dolphins in like a 7-point game.
Totally agree with Savage. I'm not sure. I feel like the Dolphins' defense has scored more points than the actual offense has. So for that reason alone, and I just feel like that the Chargers is like the West Coast version of the Atlanta Falcons. They find a way to lose a game every single week. So I'm going with the Dolphins as well. The Dolphins look really good, and I like what they're doing with Tua as well.
Scott, have you seen Tua? You know, you talking about Tua after the election. Have you seen Tua after the Chargers lost?
No,
this season. Just as hilarious.
Yeah, that's just hilarious.
Every week.
Well, I didn't realize that Chargers fans existed, so I guess that's probably why.
It's not the Chargers fans. It's just they always lose this game. Yeah.
Make sure y'all tag me in there. I got some trolling I need to get on my system anyway. So I think I made my pick. So the next game we have is a really good game, actually, in my opinion. But the Buffalo Bills against the Arizona Cardinals. Definitely, this is Savage's boy, Josh Allen, top 10 Josh Allen, excuse me. Going against Kyler Murray, who he's had a really good second season. Apparently, from the stats that I've seen, his second year is better than what I think Lamar Jackson's second year has been too. So looked like a battle of the quarterbacks. So who y'all got?
Same order.
Yep.
Give me Kyler. So I saw Kyler Murray. Have y'all before last week? Have y'all ever seen Kyler Murray not smile or be like mad?
I haven't seen him mad.
After the Dolphins game, watch that press conference. I never seen him look like that. He was just like, we gotta play better. He was pissed. I was like, give me Cardinals.
Okay.
Okay.
No disrespect to Josh Allen. I believe he's top 10. No disrespect to Buffalo, but
yeah, I'm gonna circle the wagon with the Buffalo Bills on this one. I think they come off a loss last week, right? Didn't they lose last week?
No, they won, but they won.
Oh,
Give
me Buffalo again.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely gonna double down on the Buffalo. I think I was the lonesome that would have picked them to, if y'all go to the polls, pick them to beat the Seahawks. So that was a good one to see them get beat down. So give me Buffalo again. I think Sharky, you said that Kyler was mad. I think he was mad because they the defense they were playing. You know what I'm saying? Dolphins are having a good defensive team this year, and they only held D-Hop to like 3 catches. And I think Sean McDermott is gonna look at that.
No, he had 4 pass interferences. Xavier Howard had 4 pass interferences on him, so he would have had 7.
What I said, yeah. They
had 31 points still.
Hey man, if Sean McDermott, hey, Josh Norman can do what he did, there's a good chance that the Bills would definitely win this game. So yeah, give me the Bills though. Shout out to Kyler Murray though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyler Murray, who's been playing excellent in the second season. The Cardinals are favored by a field goal at this point, but I'm going to take Buffalo in this one.
Y'all talked about top 10 Allen, but don't neglect top 5 Diggs. Number 1 in catches, number 1 in yards in the league right now. Yeah, but give me the Buffalo Bills. I think this is one of the top teams in the AFC. So, like Sheedy said, we're gonna circle them wagons.
Dang, I wanted to pick the Bills because I didn't think that.
Go pick them.
Pick them.
No, let me pick by myself.
I'm
last time
anyway, just because I feel like I've disrespected the Buffalo Bills quite a bit. So let me give them a little respect this week. They better not disappoint me. I'll say that. So give me the Buffalo Bills. I think what Buffalo did last week against Seattle. Granted, it was against Seattle's defense. But I think those are pretty good wins. So I'm pretty sure they can find some form of fashion to beat the Arizona Cardinals as well too. So that's the game. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills in that one as well too. And then the last game we have of the week. Speaking of the Seattle Seahawks, the Seattle Seahawks going against the LA Rams. So tell me who y'all got winning. Tough game. Yeah,
it's tough. A divisional game. I not get on the Seahawks about the defense. I don't believe in them as a true contender, but give me Seahawks. Coming off their loss from last week.
Yeah, the Rams are coming off a loss as well. Not last week that they had a bye, but the week before that against Tua, I believe, in the Dolphins. There are going to be 3 teams that possibly come out the NFC West. However, give me the Seahawks though. Now, again, not very often does that man that should be MVP lose twice weeks. Check his track record. There's no way I see him losing 2 straight. So give me him.
Man, you literally took the words right out of my mouth, man. Give me Russ. He's not losing 2 in a row. At this point, it may not be his MVP to lose. So give me Russ to come back and handle some business.
In the potential shootout of the week, I get it. Everything with Russ and things of that nature. The Rams are coming off a bye. They've shown in some slights that they can run the ball pretty decent with Darrell Henderson, and they're actually going to be getting him back this week. So I'm actually going to pick the Rams in this one. Give me Rams. Give me the Rams they're favored by a field goal, but I'm actually going to go with touchdown. Give me Rams by 7.
Okay.
Y'all know how I feel about the Rams, man. But I'm gonna pick them anyway. I'm gonna pick them. I'm looking at Seattle, and I'm offensively they're good, but defensively I'm tuning in to what Sharky been telling me all season about Seattle. Josh Allen, that game just opened my eyes to just their defense, and I'm picking the Rams. I'm not picking it confidently because y'all know how I feel about LA Rams, but I'm picking the Rams.
But if you know how you feel about them, why are you picking them?
Because I know how I feel on the other side as well. I know how you feel about Seattle.
And I think when I can't remember I think it was this past week against Buffalo, like Russ was running for his life. Like the offensive line was not doing a great job protecting him. And now you asking them to basically try to contain Aaron Donald. Good luck.
I'm also curious to see Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf. So
that's gonna be a good one.
That is interesting.
And to your point, Trevor, about the Rams defense, they've actually sacked Russell Wilson the most of any other team. Of course, it's a divisional opponent, but the Rams have sacked Russell Wilson the most in his career. Russell Wilson's he's probably one of the 3 or 4 quarterbacks I feel like that when they lose a game, regardless of how they've been playing throughout the season, once they lose a game, the next game they kind of bounce back. So in a very close game, in my opinion, I think somebody said there'd be a shootout, so I'm going to agree with that statement. But give me the Seahawks, but I feel like it'll be a very, very close game. Seattle's defense is trash, which I thought that was the reason why they traded for Jamal Adams, and I thought that was the reason why they traded for Carlos Dunlap. I'm not sure Dunlap has played yet, but still, for a Pete Carroll defense, for a Pete Carroll-led team, for the defense to be this bad, it's kind of surprising. So we'll see.
They can take Mike Elgin back.
Let's have some fun with this, y'all. DK Metcalf averaged 98.5 yards per game. Will he get that?
Easy.
Against Jalen Ramsey?
98?
Nope.
98. So essentially 100 yards in the game. Will he
Ramsey having a good year. So,
it all depends on is Ramsey gonna follow him because you got Tyler Lockett too. So Ramsey just stay on one side.
Yeah, this ain't
that's the question.
where like one receiver just kind of lines up on one side of the field. They'll put him in the slot. They'll put him on the left side there. He'll get it. Bro,
I don't think he gets 100. He gets close.
I saw DK Metcalf take like a 10, 15-yard slant for a touchdown last week. Enough said.
He'll get 80. He'll get 80. And a touchdown.
For the week.
All right, gentlemen. So I don't have the graphic just yet, but I have our mid-season top 5 NFL teams as voted on by the LBR crew. I'm going to go from number 5 all the way up to number 1. And then from there, I'm going to get you guys' opinions. I'll put the top 5 in the chat so nobody forgets it. At number 5, we got the bad man Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers coming out of the NFC North. At number 4, we got the Who Dat Nation, which surprised me. Who Dat Nation, number 4, New Orleans Saints. Number 3, we got top 10 Allen, top 5 Diggs, the Buffalo Bills circling the wagons. Number 2, we got the MVP and the reigning champs, Pat Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs. I am shocked as well, Skylar. And at number 1, we got the Steel Curtain, Steel City, the undefeated Pittsburgh football Steelers. At the top
Tunica Trevor strikes again.
So I'm gonna go in this order. I'm gonna go Sharky, Toot, Trevor, Sheedy, and Skylar, and then I'll go last. How do you guys feel about the Let's Be Real top 5 NFL teams?
Pretty good. The Bills were like Bills actually didn't make mine. They were like I was in toss up between them, the Ravens, and the Titans before the Colts game. After that game, that was it. So I just chose the Ravens, but not a bad list. I don't know why you shocked by the Saints. Did you see the score or watch the first quarter of the game last week?
I am not sold on the Saints personally because I feel like the Buccaneers are a up and down team at this point. So I feel like that game is like a weird outlier. It's a divisional matchup, so it's like, you can't take that matchup.
They're 2-0 against them. I mean, I don't believe in them as a Super because every year they choke in the playoffs. So I don't believe in a Super Bowl contender. And
that's why I'm like, I still don't believe in them.
But right now it's top 5. They're top 5. And there's no question. I had Steelers number 1. I see a lot of people just disrespecting the Steelers. Talking about they got soft schedule, yada yada. They just beat the Titans and Ravens back-to-back weeks. Everybody in the NFL has a similar schedule. I don't want to hear none of that. They're the only undefeated team. They have one of the best defenses, and the offense is pretty good. Big Ben is going to have to throw deep at some point. That's going to probably will hurt them down the line, but they're the best team. I know the Chiefs. I had them second. Overall, I think if they play in the playoffs right now, I'll pick the Chiefs, but the Steelers are the best team right now. There's no disputing it.
Okay. No disputes, man. I love this list. The Saints are having a great year. Especially with Drew Brees coming in. I mean, the record shows they're having a great year, and that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? But even though Michael Thomas has been a distraction, they are in the top 4 for a reason, and I'm with it. As far as the Buffalo Bills go, y'all know I've been raving about them. So it's good to see that we acknowledge them, which they are a top 3 team for sure. And Josh Allen is definitely a top 10 quarterback. I'm on that bandwagon with you, Savage. The Steelers are looking amazing. Their defense, it's about time that the Steel Curtain return. I don't know what's been going on. Maybe I had to get y'all life together. Y'all, maybe I have to, you know what I'm saying, iron the steel or whatever y'all do. But
get Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell out of the line.
I mean, but they've been gone for 2 years, and they ain't got nothing to do with defense. So y'all defense, which is what I've been saying, is there. You know what I'm saying? Juju is looking good. Offense looking okay. But the defense is what's going to win y'all a championship, which is always, I guess, what you say has been the case. So, you know what I'm saying? Pat Mahomes going to have his work cut out in the AFC championship. So, we'll see.
Before I go, I want to acknowledge Minka Fitzpatrick, since you acknowledging our defense. Because
he's a part of the
you weren't sold on Minka Fitzpatrick. And we tried to tell you.
Y'all tried to tell me, and you know what I'm saying, y'all got the best defense in the league, so maybe or maybe not he has something to do with it. No, I'm just playing. No, much credit to much credit.
you know I love it,
man. Much credit to him, man. Y'all defense.
Of course, I have no problem with the list because this is my personal list exactly to the T. Green Bay has been wildly consistent, and to Savage's point about the Buccaneers, I believe what happened in their game against the Saints, I think the same thing possibly happens against Green Bay if Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw that pick six early on. I think those 2 picks early on in the game, because prior to that they were up 10-0, and Tampa Bay was struggling before those 2 picks happened. Buffalo has looked like top 10 Allen, as you guys are saying, top 5 Diggs. They have a nice defense, things of that nature. The Chiefs have been the Chiefs. We all know what's going on there. Andy Reid is basically having a food orgasm, basically what he has been able to do with this Kansas City offense and all the weapons he has at his disposal. And of course, number 1 obviously is Pittsburgh because they're undefeated. As you guys mentioned with the defense, number 1 in tackles for loss, number 1 in sacks, number 1 in interceptions. The best teams know how to win regardless of any circumstance, and they've shown that with this start, winning ugly regardless this is what a Super Bowl team is made of at this point. 2 of our games this season, only 2 of our games we won this season have been double digits, and that was week 1 against the Giants, and I believe week 4 is either 4 or 5 against Cleveland when we actually blew them out at home. So showing this resiliency despite the offense not being on all cylinders is just amazing. Like I said, this is what a Super Bowl team is made of. And I'll quote Status with this. At this point, the offense has to get it going. And if they start to get it going late, it could be real difficult to really stop this team going forward. Hopefully, if they don't change the rule with adding the additional playoff team, and if Pittsburgh is able to get their first round bye, and the path to the Super Bowl has to go through Pittsburgh, and Kansas City has to go there, I definitely would like Pittsburgh's chances there. But that's just me.
Am I next?
Yeah.
So the list doesn't look bad. I think 4 of the 5 teams I had in my list, the team that I do not, who I do not like in this list is Green Bay. I've seen Green Bay get their, I'm gonna be 100 about it. I've seen Green Bay get their ass kicked several times, and I'm tired of seeing it. Nothing against Aaron Rodgers and that team, but I just can't get the fact that like Tampa Bay beat the brakes off of them like the way that they did. Minnesota, I think, threw the ball like 11 times, and Dalvin Cook ran wild against them. I know they've been able to bounce back from those games. I'm just not sold on Green Bay. I'm just not. So for me, I think the team that I had replaced with Green Bay was Baltimore. But if that's what the team voted on, then I guess we'll go with that. The Saints, I'm fine with. Buffalo, I'm fine with. For me, I had Pittsburgh still at number 2. I know Pittsburgh is my team, but I just don't like the inconsistency with the offense. I feel like over the past, like I think starting with the Tennessee game, the offense only does well in one particular half, whether that's the first half or the second half. And I feel like with Kansas City, their offense is going to always be there, and so they're going to always put up 30 points regardless of who they're playing. But their defense is not as good as Pittsburgh's, but it's actually top 5 if you look at the standing. So that's why I had Kansas City as number 1, and then of course also Patrick Mahomes is still there. So the only thing I had a problem with this list is Green Bay. It's only Green Bay.
The question I had real quick. I'm sorry, Sheedy, didn't mean to cut you off. I just had a question. I know you said you had Baltimore on your list at 5, even with the way that they've looked basically this season, especially with Lamar Jackson not playing as consistent as he has.
Yeah, because they just don't play well against Pittsburgh. That's it. They'll play well against everybody else. They just don't play well against Pittsburgh. And so how many more other times they got to play Pittsburgh? One more. So I think they're. And plus, Baltimore's defense is legit.
And to Skyler's point, their 2 losses are against our number 1, 2 teams on this list.
Okay, touche.
Yeah, and talking about a touche. I when I made this list, I had a very, very hard time choosing a team in NFC. I'll be honest.
Agree.
So like I had to force myself, and now I did put the Seahawks in here. I had to really force myself because I don't like the Saints. I had to force myself to really put an NFC team. And if we don't even talk about like records and we talk about like an eye test, so to speak, I mean, you've got to the Colts creeping.
That was impressive.
They just did.
Yeah.
And it's like they beat nothing against the Titans, but they beat a great team on Thursday night.
Great.
Chill out.
Did you see that special teams and defense? Great.
Well, we all can't.
Now the Colts are good. Now I've been saying the Colts are good, but they beat a great team.
Yeah.
They beat a team.
Oh well, I try.
That's okay.
A talented team.
But like I really could have arranged this list and not had anyone in the NFC. And I would have had the Ravens and the Colts as the top 5 teams, eye test and all. If I include the eye test and not really look at the records per se, because records are okay, but they're not really telling of everything. But I get it. At the end of the day, it's about wins and losses, not about the eye test. But I really, really had a hard time even getting 2 NFC teams in here at the top 5 level at this point. When I really believe it can be 4, if not a sneaky 5, depending on how the Colts do even next week after this. But yeah, I rest my case with that one.
Totally agree with that one.
Yeah.
All right, so from my list, the list I'm okay with everything but the Saints, mainly because I've watched a lot of Saints games this year. I don't know if y'all have or not, but let me go back to the actual list of the games the Saints has played. I know for one, they had a tight game with the Chicago Bears. How do y'all feel about Chicago Bears? Okay. The Saints played the Chargers. The Chargers should have won that game, but we know how the Chargers are. What else?
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
That's facts. The Panthers
had a close game against the Cowboys.
That's cool. The Panthers also gave them some trouble as well too. So I'm looking at 3 teams.
Panthers also gave Kansas City trouble.
Right, Panthers ain't no slouch.
Oh, welcome to the bandwagon, everybody. But anyway,
Welcome.
But anyway, yeah. So I mean, from Packers, Bills, Chiefs, and Steelers, I'm perfectly fine with. Saints, like Sheedy said, I had trouble putting any NFC team on here, to be honest, because I feel like the NFC is in general wide open. Information has changed, but with Pittsburgh, I mean, Pittsburgh got the best defense in the league. Actually, at Pittsburgh at 2, because I don't believe in Big Ben right now. I have to see from Big Ben in order for me to like say, okay, y'all the best team. But I am not going to go against Pat Mahomes until I see somebody beat him in the playoffs. And for me, this list is me including like actual Super Bowl contender. So Pat Mahomes, I believe when I see it, even if the Chiefs got an away game, it don't matter, bro. Like they can put up 21 points in like 2 minutes. And I don't know if Pittsburgh can keep up with the Chiefs offensively. The Bills, I feel like the Bills may move up or down depending on how this season ends. They have a good defense. They have their quarterback. They got top 5 receiver. Got great coaching. So I feel like the Bills can move up or down depending on how the season ends. And with the last 2 teams, New Orleans and Packers, I mean, it's the NFC. I struggle. I don't really care. I mean, I felt like I had to put 2 teams from the NFC on this list because you got to have 2 contenders coming out of NFC. But I mean, the Colts will probably beat the Saints. The Colts can probably beat the Packers. I mean, let's be real, you know. But overall, I'm okay just aside from the Saints. So
I want to add one thing. I think Tuke or Shark, I can't remember which one of y'all said it about like Pittsburgh throwing the ball downfield. They are. The reason that they aren't connecting, in my opinion, is Ben Roethlisberger. He's missing on those throws. He's been missing on those throws for at least about 2 or 3 years. And I think that's part and due to because Antonio Brown is no longer there. They're throwing the ball downfield. He's just not connected. And I think that's his fault.
Yeah. When I was saying that, I was meaning in that case. I know y'all throwing it down the field.
Yeah.
They're not calling those plays because he's missing them.
Yeah, it's not connected.
Yeah, he had one to I think Claypool that was like just way past him. I'm like, dude,
Way past him.
Yeah, he's missing those.
All right, time for the new segment.
Information has changed.
Information has changed.
All right, to explain this segment, y'all done this to the last episode when Savage made this infamous term, information has changed about the Philadelphia Eagles, who his favorite team. He's been trashing all year, but information had changed.
Real quick. About that tape, I just want to clarify that I am not saying the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl game. Sheedy asked for a dark horse.
Not yet.
I gave him a dark horse.
That's
what I did.
Yet.
Right. Thank you, too.
But like I said, he was hoping for a number 1 draft pick. Now he's saying they can win a playoff game. Information has changed.
They can.
So the goal of this game is what information has changed for any type of prediction or anything any one of y'all have had.
I got one.
I got one too.
I'll go
got
last. I have a lot to say on mine. So let's go.
This is a football player that we absolutely talk trash about going into the NFL season. We did not believe in this football player at all. Justin Herbert has been balling in the Chargers, and I want to bring it up because I mean, at the end of the day, if we wrong, we wrong, and we were just like, he ain't it. We saw him play Oregon, and he just didn't jump off the screen. But God damn it, he's jumping off the screen in LA, and I think the only reason that he's not winning more games is just because of the Chargers. It's not necessarily, in my opinion, his fault. I think I just looked at his stats recently. He has thrown for over 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 picks, 104 passer rating. Against, in my opinion, a pretty decent schedule. So information has changed on Mr. Justin Herbert. How about that?
I agree.
I'm with it.
I'm with you too.
Although I had to see his sophomore year first, but I mean,
Right,
sure, we thought of him coming in.
Oh yeah, we thought he was
definitely changed.
He's making some really good throws that I did not see him make at Oregon. Like the throw to the tight end that was not a touchdown. I was like, whoa, that was a dot. And so yeah, I definitely think that information has changed on him for sure.
Yeah, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, the 2 receivers.
Yep.
Wow.
Fantasy team.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Both
Man.
of
Shout
them.
out Henry whenever he's in the lineup too. So
All right, so I guess I'll give it a go. Of course, I wanted to see another season in him to call him a top 10, whatever. Savage, you've been on the day one. I just wanted to bring up his stats, and that is Mr. Top 10, Josh Allen. I wanted to wait another season. I believed in the defense and the culture that the Bills were building. I just didn't know what kind of quarterback Josh Allen to be. Like you hear the stories. Oh, he has a big arm. He can throw it fast, but is the aim there? So let me go ahead and read off some stats that really clarify him being top 10, and he may not even be 10. Right now, he's already at 2,500 yards. He's 10%. He's at 68%. 69% passing rate, passing completion, and last year he was at 59. So that's 10%. That's a jump. He's last year he was at 20 touchdowns. Right now he's at 19. That's a jump. He was at 9 interceptions last year. Right now he's at 5, which is on pace to be 9, 10, whatever, which is great. You know what I'm saying? Passer rating last year was 85.3. This year is 107.2. Those are top 10 quarterback numbers, and like I said, he's not even top 10. So salute to you, Savage, for acknowledging them. And let's go Bills.
Hey, Savage and Took. I'm gonna take it a step further and say top 5 right now.
Top 5? I mean, top 5 will have to be playoffs. Like, what are you gonna do for me in the playoffs? Like top 10, you can prove.
Okay, we'll see. I mean,
of course, y'all know how I want the Bills to do in the playoffs. Like, go Bills, but
I'm just saying currently how all the quarterbacks are playing. He's probably just like how he's playing.
He's an MVP candidate right now.
Yeah, currently.
That's Wiley. Yeah, Wiley. Information has changed.
I guess I'll go next. So a couple of weeks ago, I made the statement that after their comeback win against UCF, that I would not actually throw slant ever again. I will say that there was kind of a stretch. There was kind of a stretch as he has played in the past few weeks or whatever. However, I still will cut him some slack because he is a finalist for one of the top QB awards this season. However, the reason I'm cutting him some slack because I've seen a quarterback that is much, much worse than Brady White. And of course, I'm leaning towards Jared Garantano, the quarterback for the Tennessee Volunteers. And we'll go on the stretch, and I will say that he's probably the worst QB that I've ever seen in college football. Like, it is that bad. The fact that you are masquerading as a quarterback for Tennessee is just god awful. Like, your Tennessee should damn near have the death penalty for even giving you a scholarship.
Damn.
Yeah, it's that bad. Like,
Slice the orange.
in all of the games this season, he's only passed over 200 yards once.
Damn.
And that was in a loss to Georgia. So I'll just name all of the yardage that he's acquired in all of his games that he's played. Against Missouri, 190. As I mentioned, against Georgia, 215. Kentucky, he was 14 of 21 for 88 yards. Against Bama,
Against Kentucky? Man,
he lost the game.
He
threw 2 pick sixes.
No.
Back to back.
Go back.
Yeah.
Go back. 4 for what?
He was 14 to 21 for 88 yards. That was the game.
Terrible.
Back to back pick.
Hey, Trevor. Real talk, bro. You said 4 for 21, bro.
No, I said 14.
14. Oh, boy.
It's damn near worse. 14. He had 14 completions and still didn't throw for 100 yards. That's pretty bad, bro.
Let me tell you.
That's pretty bad.
Why is
Talk about the slant.
And then, of
Is
course,
the backup that bad?
Is that a curl route?
No, the coach is that bad, but keep
Jeremy Pruitt is that bad. Oh, and then he didn't even finish the game against Arkansas. He was 5 of 8 for 42 yards. So he was
concussion.
Well, yeah, he had the concussion. So he's been benched on 3 different occasions throughout this season. So I'm willing to go out on the limb. Like, bro is literally the worst QB in the history of college football. Like,
so to be clear, your information changed from him just being not good to the worst that you ever seen.
Yeah. And for Brady White from not being just terrible to just being competent. He's tolerable. Let me put it like that.
I agree.
He's tolerable.
Real quick, like, my thing about Brady is when Brady is on, he's on. But when he off, he is off. And it's just like, bro, what are you doing?
There's
just completed a dime like minutes ago.
At least he's on sometimes.
Yeah, at least with Brady White, he's on. And like I said, he's like a finalist for one of the top 2. So
like, put this way: replace Brady White with Jared Garantano on both teams, and I guarantee you, Tennessee will be better. Not SC contenders, but they'll be better, and Memphis would not be
where they are now.
Won't even have win the season.
So the question is, well, now we get into would you rather? Would you rather have a tease at quarterback, or it's like, oh yeah, he trash?
I'd rather have a tease.
I'd rather have a tease. He's gonna win.
Yeah.
Rather have a tease.
And this should get to the Cotton Bowl with the tease.
Exactly.
I have an additional would you rather. Would you rather have Jeremy Pruitt or Bush Jones?
Bush Jones.
Wow.
Bush Jones.
Wow.
Because at least Bush Jones, he actually got us better. Then he crashed once we got up to the top.
Yeah,
Jared Pruitt not even beating the Kentuckys, the Vanderbilts. He can't.
I remember y'all hating Bush Jones. Wow.
Yeah,
I still hate Bush Jones.
Information has changed.
No, we still hate Bush Jones. Let's keep it clear. It was the right move to fire him. We just didn't hire the right coach.
Right coach. Okay. He freeze.
I mean, he did bring in the players he brought in. So I guess Bush Jones. I mean, we wouldn't have the season we had with Dobbs and Alvin Kamara, Warren Jennings. So,
Bush Jones' problem was he couldn't beat the Georgias and Floridas when we were better than them. Jared Pruitt can't even beat the Kentucky, South Carolinas.
Yeah, he can't even beat East Tennessee.
Georgia State's. Bush Jones didn't lose to Georgia State. Or who lose to?
Chill out.
He
play Dion in them.
He lost to a guy with a torn who was playing on a torn ACL. That's enough said.
Like that.
Jackson State.
All right, that's it. All right, find the.
I'm not changing information just yet on the Titans. I'm not changing just yet. I'm close. I'm right there.
Listen to my next Let's Tighten Up episode. Information might change after the wait for the next 2 games. Listen to my next episode though. I'm recording Tuesday.
Bet.
that.
Do I come on?
If you want to, hey, come on. You can bring on an extra person.
Okay.
Just be honest. I'm kind of teetering. I'm not as down yet because I can.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't see them make another change. And,
I'm gonna listen before I come on. I don't come on. I'm gonna listen.
yeah, there's still a lot of season left. It's
right.
The way we lost. Except when that happens on special teams, it's kind of like you can fix it.
Yeah.
You just got to do it.
You got to
Mike
fix
Vrabel,
them third and fourth down. That's what you got to fix.
Mike Vrabel got an ego problem. That's what we learning. So but let's tighten up. Man. Should be let's tighten down, but let's do it. All right, man. Anybody?
I got something real quick. I do want to shout out this week. Got to shout out the ladies on this one because we do talk about women's basketball when we can. Shout out to Sequoia Allman, who was a high school basketball player from the great state of Memphis. She's the first ladies basketball player to be ranked in the ESPN 100. Not only to accomplish that, she also committed to Jackson State. So she's going to CU, turning down numerous offers from Power 5 conferences. So Sequoia Allman, salute, shout out. Skylar, you look confused right now.
I'll let it go.
Prime time.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I thought my fault when you said the ladies, Trevor. I thought you were gonna go somewhere else. So I do want to stay in the ladies' room just really briefly. Shout out to Kim Nig. I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. First general manager and the first Asian American to be over the MLB with the Miami Marlins, I believe. So shout out to her for breaking history, not even just for women, but for Asian Americans as well.
And since last time recorded was before the election finally ended, shout out to for being the first vice president, first black woman vice president, first woman, then first black woman vice president, United States. So, and that's it.
That's it. Tiger Woods he ain't doing too good, so we ain't gonna talk about him. It's a wrap.
Oh man, don't lie. Before we end off, I knew something. Chris Vernon, man, he does this every year. He does it every year, though. By the way, because this year is finally getting noticed more. Man,
we need to get on there. Though.
Great.
Just turn up.
He won like the best.
As soon as I leave,
he won like the best podcast of the year in Memphis. I mean, he deserved it, man. That was great.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Chris Vernon.
Trying to get like him, man.
Yeah.